Hello, welcome to Geeking Out with Shad. This is an update on my Bolt EUV and its current range in kind of these more spring or almost spring temperatures. So right now in Minneapolis area, we overnight temps can get down into the teens, but mostly they've been down in the mid 20s. And then daytime temps are in the mid 30s, mid to upper 30s, things like that. So definitely a different situation than just a month ago or a couple months ago, where lows could go below zero, and sometimes even the daytime high was below zero. And our temperatures were single digits or teens, things like that. Um, so during those extreme cold temperatures, which is what I'm going to call them, the extreme cold, um, is I was getting 1.6, 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour, which is giving me a range of around 100 miles. Now keep in mind, this is city driving. Why I want to make that clear is I'm starting my car from a cold start. It's freezing cold. The car actually has to keep the battery conditioned while it's sitting there when it gets really cold. So it'll use battery just while the car is parked when it's like below zero or really cold out. And then I start the car, and the car has to condition the battery and warm the cabin and everything. And then I go drive like 4 miles or 5 miles, and I shut the car off, and it cools down again. And then when I start the car up, it has to go through this whole process of warming itself up again. So that uses a lot of battery power. So city driving, doing these short trips all the time, is why I'm getting such low miles per kilowatt hour. I hope that makes sense, because when I did a road trip, it was 17 degrees when I did that. I got 188 miles of range. And that's because the car only had to start and warm up once, and then it just had to maintain the cabin warmth and the battery warmth. It didn't have to start from this bitter cold start and multiple times. So you're gonna get more range. It's flipped in the wintertime. This is where the point I'm trying to make. So it's gonna get more range driving on a longer road trip in the wintertime than it does doing short little trips city driving, which is opposite of what you're going to get in summer temps or warmer temps. And the warmer temps, because the car doesn't have to work so hard to heat it up every time you start it, city driving and with the regen braking and all that on, you're going to get more than the EPA estimated range of 247 miles. So even when I first got the car, which was around September, there were warm enough temperatures still. I was easily getting over 300 miles of range per charge driving around in the city. The highway driving, the difference between cold weather highway driving and warm weather highway driving isn't as significant. I'm going to say somewhere between 180 miles on the cold temperature days to probably 220, 225 miles on warm temperature days. So it's very interesting when you start like throwing these numbers around, and it all makes sense if you really understand how EVs work, right? But if you don't, it's probably really confusing and doesn't make any sense to you why there's such a wide variances, and why city driving flips from being extremely inefficient in the cold temperatures to being extremely efficient in the summer warmer temperatures. We're talking about a third the range in the wintertime city driving versus 3 times more in the summertime, of over 300 miles. Yep, that's wild. I did not really expect that, but now that I've owned the car for a while and been crunching these numbers constantly, and now that I kind of understand how the EVs work, that's what it is. And it makes sense now that I get it all, right? Does that make sense? Doesn't make sense. Am I making any sense? Some of you maybe, some of you maybe not. Anyway, so that's my update. So right now, 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour is what I'm getting city driving again. And that's much improved. So I'll probably get, something like 140 miles or something of range. And I'll keep doing these updates as we move more into spring. By end of March, going into April, we should easily be averaging around the mid 40s for temperatures, maybe even getting into the 50s, mid 50s, and things like that, and so on and so forth. So there you have it. Probably confusing to some of you. I appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace. Definitely feel free to comment in the comments, and I'll see if I can clarify this in a better way. Maybe I should make a graph or a chart or something. We'll see.